Hello, everyone.
Hi there.
Today's chess puzzle.
All right.
Pawn on e5.
Okay.
Pawn on d4. Pawn on c3, knight on f3. Pawn on a2.
What?
Pawn on b2, queen on a2.
But
Pawn on g2. Pawn on h2.
got it.
Pawn on g2. Pawn on h2.
Okay.
Rook on a1, knight on b1, bishop on c1, king on e1, bishop on f1. Rook on h1.
I think I've got all that.
Black. Rook on a8, bishop on c8, king on e8, bishop on f8, knight on g8, rook on h8, pawn on b7, pawn on c7, pawn on c7, pawn on g7, pawn on e7, pawn on a6, knight on e6.
Okay.
Pawn on e6 and queen on g4.
Right.
Let's get this going.
Sounds good.
Black's queen on g4 is eyeing that pawn on g2. That's a bit of a pressure point, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it certainly is. Black is applying some early pressure there.
Yeah.
White needs to find a way to counter that threat and develop their pieces more effectively.
Right. White's pieces seem a little scattered right now.
Yeah.
Not a lot of open lines for attack.
Yeah, I see that.
What could white do to shake things up?
Well, one interesting possibility is to try and lure Black's queen into a trap. Instead of directly defending the g2 pawn, what if White nudges the h-pawn forward?
h2 to h3.
Exactly.
Okay, that's intriguing. But wouldn't that just weaken the pawn structure further?
On the surface, it seems like it, but it's a subtle move with some potentially powerful consequences. Let's see what Black does.
Okay, if I were black, I think I'd be tempted to just gobble up that pawn on g2. Queen takes g2.
That's the natural move, but White is already a few steps ahead. Remember, this is about setting a trap.
Ah, I see it now.
You got it.
If black takes g2, white pushes their own g-pawn to g4, attacking the black queen.
Exactly. Now Black has to retreat, and the most logical square is h5.
But that's walking right into another trap.
Right.
White's knight can then jump from f3 to h4, forcing black's pawn to retreat to h6.
And that's when White's bishop comes into play with a devastating move, c1 to h6.
Wow, that bishop is controlling a huge diagonal now.
Eh,
Black's queen is completely out of the game, and white has a powerful attacking force.
precisely. It's not checkmate, but the advantage White has gained is substantial. This puzzle really highlights the importance of thinking ahead and anticipating your opponent's moves. Sometimes a seemingly passive move like h2 to h3 can be the start of a brilliant attack.
The answer is white h2 to h3, black g4 to h5, white g2 to g4, black h5 to g6, white f3 to h4, black g6 to h6, white c1 to h6.
There you go.
There you go. We start with h2 to h3, forcing the black queen to h5, then white pushes g2 to g4, attacking the queen, black retreats to g6, but that allows white's knight to jump to h4, forcing.
Black's pawn to h6, and that sets up the final crushing blow bishop from c1 to h6.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks for having me.
See you next time.